Welcome everyone to another episode of Entrepreneur Speaks. So today we have Ashutosh Barnwal with us, who is the founder and CEO of Buddy for Study, and he is also an alum of IMT Ghaziabad, who passed out in 2012. So Buddy for Study is India's top scholarship network, uh, which is aiming to provide affordable education to students through means of scholarship. So Body for Study has achieved phenomenal success over the years, and it has recently received the Best Indian Social Enterprise Award by Action for India. And some of the highlights are it helped around 25 lakh students and around 80,000 scholars with scholarship worth around rupees 80 crores. So Ashutosh is also popularly known as the Scholarship Man of India, and he has also authored India's first scholarship guidebook. So welcome Ashutosh to this episode of Entrepreneur Speak. Starting with the first question. So, one of the remarkable fact about you is that you started while doing your MBA at IMT Ghaziabad. So, while doing the MBA, most of the students think of getting a high-paying job, but you took that unusual route and started your startup. So, what actually made you
Mhm.
to take this decision? Was it because of the passion for entrepreneurship, or was it you realized some opportunity and you thought maybe this is the right time to start up? So what actually made you to take the decision?
So great. Very good question. Very first, Ardeep, thank you for giving this opportunity to me to share my life journey so far, and also this is another way to connect with a young entrepreneur or one of entrepreneurs. So I always feel that this is an what you say this is a in depthness towards the society, which helped me to reach to this far, and also like some blessings coming from the society. So it's always good to give back. So thank you once again. Regarding this particular thing at why I started in the college when maximum student join I am MBA for basically for the high paying job. You are right. For So basically what so the story didn't start from IMT basically. The story starts since my childhood. So where so I belong to Dhanbad, Jharkhand. It is from a family where parents are non-matric, and we are four brothers. There were some constraint in the financial resources, so three brothers studied in government school of Jharkhand, and I was the only kid who was studying in a private school, CBSE school. So I have seen some hardships in my life in my childhood, and but I was slightly meritorious student, so I scored good in class 10, 12, qualified ITJ, and then went for my marine engineering degree from Marine College in Kolkata. And then that, I worked and served British Petroleum for 3.5 years. So when I joined IMT, I come to know about a scholarship, and then I realized that if I would have applied for this scholarship and could have get it, so my younger brother could have studied in my school, which fees was only 350 rupees per month. So the moment this realization happened, the reflection comes to me that because the most of the sacrifices and struggle happened with the family who are still struggling to give, but I was a recipient of all the blessings and the support of my family. But my other brothers sacrificed, struggled a lot. So the moment this idea come out, I was not aware about any scholarship in school time, and which results into more sacrifices from my family. So IMT provides you plenty of things. Like it's a group of very good students, batchmates, friends, professors, alumni access. ESL is there. So there are plenty of ingredients are there which act as a catalyst. When you have some idea in your mind, you can anytime reach to any professor or batchmates and brainstorm on this. So yes, so it's not like a job because I worked with British Petroleum initially. So I have seen money in my life as a profession, as a service person. But it's more about the call, and IMT is a perfect place. I would love to share more details of how I started, how things worked out. But the base is same. The moment you got a call from your within and something which you truly care about, so any idea you truly care about, which you have experienced something in your life, and you want to solve it. That yes, this happened with my family, but this also can disturb millions and lakhs of families others. So how can I simplify this process? So yes, so now it's been 10 years since I started this. So now it is solving the cause. One addition. So Ardeep, I am not right now. So I started Buddy Force in 2010-11 in my IMT. Second year, I incorporated my company, and in October, I launched the website. So at the time when I was graduating from IMT, I already had the traction of around more than 750 students in our platform and around 15, 20, 12 schools with us. So this is a traction which gave me the confidence that to take this forward in a full time. So I just shared with every student and students who have some passion about entrepreneurship. Don't see entrepreneurship as a business. See entrepreneurship as a lifestyle. See entrepreneurship as a passion. That yes, if there is something which you truly want to solve, resolve, because you are a meritorious student, that's why you come to the IMT or some good college. So you have that caliber, you have the potential. Just need to reflect on yourself, and yes, anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that's great to know. So moving to the next question. So what are some of the specific learnings from your IMT days which has helped you in your entrepreneurial journey? And what will be your advice to current students studying at IMT? How to leverage this time to gain maximum skills or build their network in case they want to start in future?
So very good question. So the very first thing, so IMT take IMT is like a soil, a good soil. Idea is like a seed. So if you have an idea and you are placed in an IMT or a good college or in college where there are professors, there are batchmates, there are seniors, there are resources like IMT provides you very fantastic library where you can access the information, journals, etc., research publications, etc. So you can do the groundwork, you can do the plus. So what worked for me is like in the very initial days now when you do not have confidence whether the idea which you are working upon is worth to pursue basically. So when you share this with your batchmates who are also equal like you, who have good understanding about the world and business world, so when you brainstorm with them, so this is a free level resource for you. People, you can discuss this with day and night with your batchmates, with your friends, with your seniors as well as your professors. They are always accessible to you. So my the only advice to the any wannabe entrepreneur or a student, to not wait for some time that yes, after 2 years when I was started working, then after I will had some savings and then I will start something. No, right now you have plenty of time. This is a capital. Treat it like a capital, and you have to wise enough to invest this capital in the best way so that you can maximize your output. So this time is there. The second network is there. These are the batchmates. Your batchmates are going to be the future CEOs of many other companies, right? And they have that much potential capacity as of now. So like I'm talking to you, Aditya, I don't know after 5 years who will be the CEO of some company or something. So I can learn from you. Your ideas can also add value to my venture. So you don't stop yourself or don't apprehend to share your ideas. If you think that your idea can be copyable by anyone else, please, ऐसा नहीं होता है. ठीक है? This is your baby. This is your idea. You are unique. You have to share it with hundreds of people. And this is a fantastic place where everybody has the time capital. So you can leverage this thing. First, second, resource wise, you have library, you have laboratory, you have computer labs, you have uh, you have databases of different things. So you can do all the research so that you can get confidence that whatever ideas I'm working upon, there is a demand for it. There is a actual need for it. So this is a second thing. And then the best thing is that the network coming from the wisdom coming from your professors. So they have seen world in for last 30 40 years. So they can actually give you the right wise advice that the idea you are working upon, whether this is actually true potential or not, or where the tweak is required. And also like it's not like even if everything is working upon, there should be a good treat this like a seed. Whenever you start something, first 1 and 2 years is very difficult. It's very slow moving thing. So if you are starting something full time after IMT or after your MBA college or after a college, so first 2 years journey, because you are doing and everything happens very small way, very slow space. So it's best to start as early as possible, because the 2 years in IMT you are also getting a degree as a bonus, but in the meantime you have a company in place which is having an early traction. So this will give you the proof of concept, and then you can move on from there. So it's I am always saying that if you have the idea and passion, you can start, and everything is there. Means these batchmates can become your future co-founders, your core employees, your investors, your advisors, your mentors. Everything is there around you. You just need to look out and you just need to ask for the help. That's it. This is my advice for all.
Okay. Moving to some specific questions. So I was reading a blog by Paul Graham where he said that one of the main reasons startup fail is because they fail to understand the users. He's further said that entrepreneurs can have many skills, they can have lot of experiences and knowledge about entrepreneurship, but if they fail to understand users of the startup, then ultimately that startup will fail. So my question is that do you agree to this notion, and if yes, so does it refer to the fact that entrepreneurs should only start in the industry from which they come from, and if not, if they start in a different industry, then how to understand users better?
See, the world is moving and nobody knows what is there for us in tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a mystery. But a founder or a startup entrepreneur who is starting, he should have a vision for what he actually want to bring the value to the society. So what service he actually want to add, how he can make life simple in future. There are hundreds and lakhs of problems outside there. So don't think what is happening right now is the best practice. Might be they are good, they are serving the society right now, but there could be a better way to do it. So I'm just say take the case of Buddy for Study. When I was starting in 2011, there was no such portal in across the India. In fact, in across the globe, there is no such portal which is simplifying the scholarship world access, where any student can access the all kind of scholarships available at one place, as well as any scholarship provider who wants to launch scholarship. There is no platform where they can actually launch it. Technology, promotions, scholar tracking, selection, and fair way to select the scholars. These all are require plenty of skills as well as technology as well as talent, and this is a very costly affair. So if I would have gone for the tried and tested model, so believe me, then Buddy First didn't exist. It's always an innovation. And as a young entrepreneur, as a young fresh person, and coming to in this time, there are lots of innovations waiting for you. So you just need to come out and don't think about what is happening right now, what other person is doing. You can take your leap, and you can if you have the conviction that yes, the thing what I am working upon, you can start with. You have to find the need statement, the problem statement first. Solution can be anything. Say for example, like for me, like say, hunger is a problem statement. Everybody is hungry. So what is the solution? Solution is giving them mangoes. But yes, mango, it can feed you, but you can also bring apple. So it's not like apple is not the right thing. Yes, you can bring apple, you can bring plenty of other fruits or vegetables or say greens. So there are millions of opportunity outside there. There innovations are just waiting for you to explore them more. So it's always there. Means.
Okay. Yes. Coming to the next question. So one of the main characteristics startups should have is agility. So a startup need to be very agile. They need to respond to situations very quickly. If any kind of unprecedented situation like the COVID-19 pandemic occurs, so in that situation they need to respond to it very quickly. So how to build this culture of agility in startups? So what will be your advice?
So basically, so when we talk about this uncertainty in the market and the way startup has to be flexible enough, so always remember that you have to be a front runner and you have to be keep updating yourself about the industry, what is happening. So you have to read everything, what is going to affect your business or what is going to affect your domain. So like COVID, so COVID brings Corona brings plenty of compassion in the society. So now people are coming out and helping people who are a stranger for them. So there are plenty of examples outside there. So you don't see any problem statement or see any challenge statement and opportunity statement for you, and start building things. Okay, how this is going to impact your business or your idea, and there should be some sideways, there should be some bypass or something, some innovation is there which will add value to your system. Say for example, like for agility, I say you need to have a good team members who can also understand that we are working for a purpose. So purpose is fixed, the solution can be tweaked, can be pivoted, plenty of things can be happened in the solution side, but everybody should be aligned with the problem statement. So this is the first thing. So second thing, whatever you are building, just make an component of adjustment, that yes, if a client is asking something and it is not then your, but the conviction should be there that yes, this is something which is related to my solution thing. So we also have to be able enough to develop this thing, and if there is a demand for it, then there are plenty of other potential customers can also buy it from you. So this mindset should be there. This growth mindset should be there from the startup entrepreneur or anyone. When you are starting something, you are knowing about. Say it's just like climbing a mountain. When you start climbing, you are not knowing what you will be seeing after say 100 feet of climbing. But when you reach there, you see a very beautiful outside world. But again, it's a changeable world. Every step is giving you a new vision, new understanding about the world. So just be open, having growth mindset, and keep mentors around you who can also guide you, uh, not only guide you but also help you to visualize the problems incoming. So every phase of a startup has different challenges. A startup who is 0 to 1 has a different challenge. A startup who is in between 1 to 10 is having different challenges. The startup who is scaling from 10 to 100, they have different challenge, different set of challenges. But the purpose of each and every phase is same. The value system is same. The culture is same. So you have to build this culture and the value system in your organization so that everybody who is joining it, they know that what they are going to serve.
Okay. I think you made a very important point. The need to have a fixed purpose behind starting up is very necessary, because ultimately in uncertain times, I think the purpose guides the entrepreneur through difficult times. So I think that's very important point to make, and also the importance of having a mentor and also the right team. So having the right team is very crucial in starting up. So that is a very crucial thing you pointed out. So coming to the next question, it is related to team only. So there can be issue of disagreement with co-founders over certain decisions while running a startup, and that can lead to fallout between them, and that can be disastrous for the startup. So what is your advice how one should tackle such issues?
So again, as I mentioned, there should be a vision statement for everyone to be aligned with. So for example, like if the entire team, or if the, and it should not so there are two three things. The first thing is the common purpose. So for example, like there could be a co-founder CTO who is very good in technology side. So you have to give him or give the team member head the ownership that yes, if technology is related, something decision is there, so he will be the first person to be whose decision will be everybody will accept it. If there is something related to operation, there is a chief operating officer as a co-founder. You have to give them the ownership and the responsibility, and you have to trust him. You have to trust your team first. So it's if it's related to the direction of the company, so definitely every head has to sit down, discuss, say strength and weaknesses of this model, everything, and then they have to come out with a one single statement that yes, what they want to achieve at this current position. And then once this is decided between the founders and the say core team members and with mentors and all, then everything is easy. It's now differentiated between or say it will be separated by the team founders who will take in which responsibility, and he has to deliver it. If somebody is not able to deliver and there is because of this there is a friction is coming on, you again sit back and you have to again discuss this. Yes, why you are not delivering it? You are facing some problem, some challenge. There are enough mentors outside there in the world and the consultants who can help you out with this kind of skills. So every time you have to scale up. So this is a life where you learn every day. So you just need to be flexible enough to learn and grow and respect each other's. So each other's perspective, their value system, why they are seeing this. And you have to be dialogue. You have to have dialogues, different levels of dialogues with your co-founders, with your core team, with your head of departments, with your employees. Every time, whenever you are signing, you are giving them something which is unexpected. That yes, we have decided this, but why you have decided this? How you have decided? These answers, these communications should also always be there with every team member. That yes, because of these situations, the management has taken this and the founders has taken this. This transparency is the ingredient of bringing everyone on the same place. As I always say, trust. So trust starts with truth and ends with truth. So just remember this. You have to be truthful to your team.
Okay, yeah, so that is very important thing you mentioned, that one should be really transparent with the team, with the co-founders, and yeah, so that actually builds in helps in building the trust. and also one should have mutual respect. There should be mutual respect and understanding between the co-founders. Yeah, so that's a very crucial thing you mentioned. So moving to the next question. So as you are an entrepreneur from the education sector, so I'd like to ask this question to you. So considering the recent success of the edtech startups in India, like Unacademy, also Byju's, so they've recently achieved a lot of success. So does this success indicate that in long term these online portals can take over the conventional mode of teaching? So what's your opinion, and what is the barriers in that? So what's your take on this?
See, learning. So learning comes from the motivation of the learner, basically how much he's motivated with this system. So if somebody is getting very good teacher and say he's inspired by the teachers who is teaching them through the either in the school or college or in the coaching or through some online platform. So I think if as long as learning need is served, so any portal is or any system is relevant. Regarding going forward, because of this COVID scenario now, where the schools and colleges are closed down, and whenever this hotspots are coming or new cases are coming, the first thing and the will be shutting down is the school, and the last thing to be opened up is the school. So definitely, and also like parents are worried about the kids' safety when they are going out. So it's I think the demand of the online portals is very high. So and this COVID is I'm not sure. We don't know. This is uncertain time. This is the first time happening. So it can go in 5-6 months to it can impact say 5-6 years. Nobody knows about it. So we have to learn. So in these cases, like tech startups, which like Byju's, Topper, etc., which they are trying to do is solving this need where I can my kid can stay at home and they can learn something. But yes, there are always an innovation side, and we can think about yes, if there is another startup who is thinking of something in this line, so they have to understand this is right now happening. What new ingredients he can bring, what all add-ons he can bring, and there are there are different challenges Byju's and Unacademy or Topper are struggling. So if they can come out with some kind of solution, there is a huge opportunity for them to tap on.
Yeah, yeah. So, so that's a very good point. That COVID-19 can have a really big impact on these tech startups. So that we need to watch how it goes. So coming to the last question, so I would like to ask this very relevant issue about this very relevant thing, that for students who are currently doing their MBA and who want to start into a future, who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. So for them, one of the relevant, a very important and very relevant issue is one is lack of technical skills, because they can come from a background from non-technical background, so that can be an issue while starting up. And another is presence of a hefty loan, so that is a very big issue. So what is your advice? How one should tackle these things, like the issue of loan and the issue of lack of technical skills?
See, there are two parts. One is the technical part, one is the financial part. So starting with the technical part. So basically I am a marine engineer. So I never know about the coding, how the websites work, how the coding happens, etc. So you have to find a person who can complement your skills basically. So if you are not non-coder, if you're non-tech guy, you have to find someone who can do it for you. So there is no other solution. You cannot do say product ideation as well as the product development as well as product testing and quality test check, and then also like delivery of the products to the selling of the product as well as the delivery of the product. So you have to bring good team members. So you have to find good and always be saying that you always have to see one thing in common in all of your co-founders or future employees, that is integrity. How much ethical they are, how much honest they are in their own approach in their lives. I can compromise with the skills in beginning because it's a learnable thing. You can learn by doing it, so you can acquire those things. But integrity is very nascent. It's very say inherent quality, so you cannot change it. So you have to be very careful about when you are hiring someone for your core functionalities, which is complementing you basically. So it's to make your life easy and so that you can scale. This is the first part where you are lacking a technical skills. Even I did it. I find a co-founder who is good in technology. I hired him as a freelancer, and then he became the full-time. So we had shared some around 6 months, 1 year time together to decide that if we want to go ahead with full time. Second thing about the financial thing. So see, in today's time, every bank is providing you some loan. So you have education loan for say 12 lakh, 15 lakh rupees, I am saying. But in the during the college in 2 years time, this will give you enough runway to learn about this. I am trying to solve some problem, and yes, this problem has genuine appeal to the right people. Like and if you are able to convince some investors to put some money to you as a seed fund, or say as to pay you salaries of some, not on the market standard, because market standard is very expensive for MBA graduate for like IMT. But yes, at least this much, so that you can pay your EMIs and some for your cash flow or some your personal expenses. If this much you can raise from your some investors, early investors, stage or seed investor, or from your friends, like you are studying in a college where plenty of your friends, so you can ask this help from your friends as well. So you can defer your say this EMI burden on your shoulder to another 1.5 year, and this two and collectively 2-3 years is enough to you to understand that yes, this model is working, and I am able to, whether we can bring it to the say next level to raise angel fund or say series round. So this 3 years is good enough for anyone to actually find this market product fit, or what you say, that is the uh, testing of this idea. So then you can proceed with this, and believe me, there is nothing called a failure thing. You are learning in this whole experience of 3 years. So even after say after 1 year of your MBA, you're going back to the business, to industry, to for seeking the job, you will be highly valued there. So your market value is not only like 2 years of MBA from a good college, but it's also like you have 3 years of experience as an entrepreneur. So you know everything about product development, to say fundraising, to say bringing good clients, or funding the first concept selling, then delivery of the products, all these things like operations, everything, for team building. So you have all the skills in next 1.5 year. So your demand is always there in the market. So you don't need to worry about the financial thing. You just need to find some early people who can trust you first and trust your model, that is what you are trying. So and you have to find 5 or 6 people of such people to support you in first and 1.5 year.
Yeah, so I think that's two very relevant solution you suggested for these two big problems. That to find people with complementary skills, and to build connections and network with investor community. So I think that's very insightful. So Ashutosh, so thanks for giving us the time, and your story has been really phenomenal. Your journey has been very inspirational, especially for students who are currently studying at these schools. So it has been really great to have you in this episode of Entrepreneur Speak. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Agdeep. I just want to share one point.
Yeah,
Whenever somebody is confused whether he want to start something or not, I always say entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship has two words: entrepreneur and ship. Entrepreneur is the spirit, the soul, and ship is the body, object, vessel. So entrepreneur, the soul means antah prerna. It's a French word, entrepreneur, but the Sanskrit word is antah prerna. So if there is some self inspiration is coming, some inner inspiration is coming, a call is coming from your inside to solve something, some problem, some challenge, and you have this thing, then the ship can be built. But the first thing is the prerna. The core of philosophy of any entrepreneurship is the prerna, the self inspiration. So if this is there, you don't need to worry about. We all are Hanuman. We all have superpower. We all want to serve back. But the only thing is we are forgotten power. So when you start running this journey, you are doing it. The everything, all skills will you will earn it. You will acquire it, and you can actually become the Hanuman and solve the big problems. Don't worry about it. It's very simple thing. I have done it, and I am very happy and feeling proud many times and honored that plenty of good people join this journey. And this is not that tough, which people are used to say. You are not going to lose any single thing. The experience you are building in this 1 and 2 years of time in college as well as outside college is immense thing. It's a highly fulfilling journey. So all the best to all. And if anybody is having any problem or any doubts, kindly reach to me. I am happy to assist. This is the minimum thing I can do. So that's it.
yes, yes. So thanks for that. That as you mentioned that that you are always available to support us. I think that's very encouraging for people who would like to start up in future. And I think it's very well said how you said the meaning. You broke the word entrepreneurship, and yeah, so we also agree that entrepreneurship mainly comes from inspiration. You need to have that inspiration, you need to have that inner calling, and that actually pushes you to work through adversities to build companies and leave legacies. So that's great, that's very well said, and thanks for connecting to ESL IMT Ghaziabad.
Thank you, Agdeep, and thank you, ESL IMT Ghaziabad. It's happy to give back. Thank you.